Want to find more sheds this spring?
We have 10 tips, so stay tuned to find out what they are.
Holy son of a gun, that's a big one.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of G Outdoors. We're all together today to share with you guys our 10 favorite tips for shed hunting.
That we've used over time, that we felt,
Give you the
us.
best chance to succeeding.
And that we've perfected because we have a lot more tips, but a lot of them are worthless. So these are the 10 best ones.
And stay tuned for the end because we actually have a bonus 11th tip video for you guys. And
it's actually the best one.
And don't forget, guys, before you do anything, click that subscribe button. That's all you gotta do. You like hunting stuff, you like fishing, you like outdoors, G Outdoors, we have what you need.
And after you guys finish watching the tips, if there's any tips that we didn't mention that you guys feel is super important or that you guys use, throw them down in the comments below so we and other shed hunters alike can check it out, and hopefully, maybe it's something we didn't think of or we didn't feel was the top 10. But if you guys feel something's important, throw it down in the comments. We love to hear about it.
Yeah, and don't be shy to share the sheds that you found using those tips. All right, guys, so here's tip number 1.
What you're gonna wanna do, guys, is locate the deer when they're getting ready to shed their antlers. Just because you find rubs, you find scrapes, that doesn't mean anything when it comes time to sheds. The deer are gonna be able to move kilometers and kilometers away. You'd be surprised how far they actually go during the winter times. So you definitely want to be mindful of where the deer are. Probably from around January to March is probably our best bet of where the deer are going to be. Once we see them there, it's kind of their core winter area. They herd up over here, especially here in public lands. They like to herd up in the deep Canadian winters.
A lot of snow, basically it'll make them
And a lot of times when you find sheds, you'll find them a lot together because they'll be in that same area, they'll be all together, and you'll find 1 or 2 or 3 sheds together, not necessarily over a big patch of woods.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so here's tip number 2.
Something we learned over the years, shed hunting on cloudy days is the best. The antlers seem to glow, and really it's less of an eyesore than if it's a full sunny day. You have the sun in your eyes. It does that
you get no reflection off.
There's no reflection. It's glare. Not even the glare. It's a lot easier. We even noticed after it rained, it seems like cloudy days or after rain are the best days to shed hunt that we found over the years.
You wouldn't go hunting with a dirty or a broken scope. Well, try not to go hunting on sunny days because it's the same thing. You want all the chances on your side. You want to be able to see those antlers. They're already hard enough to find.
If you do go on a sunny day, try to have the sun on your back, and that's the best advice we could give you for weather.
So here's tip number 3.
What we like to do when we're going to a new patch of woods that we've never been to before, we like to wait for all the snow to melt, and then if it helps if you're a group of people, but we like to grid search up and down every single part of those woods so you could find new as well as old sheds.
Over the years, the deer, we noticed just because they winter in certain areas, some years they're on one patch of the woods, some years they're on one side. They're not necessarily always on the same side of the woods, so it's important. New area, even if you find old sheds, it's go up and down and you do lines together. The more people you are, the better and the easier obviously it is, but it seems to work really well for us.
And it helps also once you find old sheds, you can know the following year. You could go back during winter time with snow and look for fresh new trails and try to get those fresh sheds because underneath you're
cleared
it over.
Yep.
And keep in mind, even if you are alone, you could still grid search. You don't need to be a big party. Don't give up because you're alone and figure out that you can't grid search. Just go slowly, go up and down, and the point is
it'll take a bit longer, but it'll be worth it in the end when you find those, even some old ones. You never know what you're gonna find out there.
Just stay motivated. Here's tip number 4.
Follow food sources. We can't stress it enough, especially if you have a lot of cornfields, soybeans. Even if they get cut, the deer are gonna come looking for food. Winter time is a really hard time on the deer, and we noticed over the years, food is king. So look wherever you want to start, always start around the food sources. Whatever it is in your area, it could be pine trees, it could be cedars, it could be, it really depends. It could be corn, it could be any type of, anything that you know in your area the deer eat. If it's acorns, if that mountain has a lot of acorns or beech nuts, whatever it is, just go with the food source of your area.
And you could use that to locate your deer. If the deer are eating all the saplings, it'll be a very good hint on knowing that the deer are there. The saplings get ripped up and it sticks out in the woods, so you know that's a really good place to start. Here's tip number 5.
Another thing we notice too in public areas where we go, deer love to follow transition zones. Little tiny strips that separate big fields. The deer are gonna walk in the open fields where there's 5 feet of snow every winter. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna hug the inside of little tiny strips, and they use that as a funnel and as a transition zone. And they feel, especially the bucks, they'll feel safe being on the side of those trails, going up and down, and they can look out for predators and anything else in the open fields. And if they have to take off, at least they have an exit point and they could enter the woods on the opposite side.
Yep.
So be sure, we found probably 80% of our sheds when we first started off, all on those strips of those little tiny strips of woods. And it's something we always love to seek because we know the deer aren't going to be in the open fields in the middle, especially those CRP grass fields where there is no food. They have no reason to walk there. So
here's tip number 6.
In northern woods, we noticed the pine trees, the cedars are a big factor in where the deer bed, where the deer eat, where the deer spend a huge part of the winter. So don't forget those cover zones. Wherever they're shielded from the wind, you'll notice the snow levels will be completely different heights. You'll have 4 feet outside, and under the pine trees, you'll still see the pine needles. You'll see big beds, and we found actually sheds under the pine trees. The deer get up on their hind legs trying to bite. Like you'll see the bottoms all eaten, and we noticed over the years it works like a charm. Look for the big cover, big pines, and the cedars, any green that they're all bushed together. The deer love it. They're covered from the wind, covered from all the elements.
Keep in mind, it's not the easiest place to find sheds. It's very hard to get under those pines, especially the ones that haven't grown off the floor. But the deer go there, they're protected there. So go slowly, look under those pines, and you'll find the sheds. It's not easy, but you have to do it if you really want this white gold.
Oh yeah.
Here's tip number 7.
you guys have probably heard this from any other shed tip video you guys have watched, but one thing we love to do is also check large hills that face the sun. Deer always seem to be bedded up over there.
A lot of times you'll see, even driving on the highway, you'll see on the sides that in areas that there is snow, it'll be all melted in one area. You know that's a good indicator of where the animals, most animals will be to take in that sun. They are warm-blooded, so they do absorb the sun's rays even if it is cold outside. So certain times of the day that they'll be there bedded on those hills, you have a good chance that the bucks beds down and one antler or both fall there. You got to check all those areas for sure.
And this applies also to the guys who hunt where they don't get snow. You're gonna get cold weather, the deer are gonna get less food in the winter, so whether you get snow or not, the deer is gonna go on that slope and try and get in the sun and get back its energy. When they fall into that survival mode, when it's, you know, no crops and whatnot, you have to look for them where they're gonna be at the best of their condition. So southern slopes, it gives them heat and they get to rest up, and that's where they're gonna drop their sheds. Here's tip number 8.
If you guys are fortunate enough to find an antler, don't be discouraged if you don't find the match within like a 20 yard to 50 yard radius. Deer, we've actually had people, you know, send in pictures of deer still holding one side for up to 2 days. So just because you don't find one around the 20, 50 yards, keep looking. We found one of our matches, I think 150 yards apart.
Yeah, we were freaking out, and a deer could travel. It doesn't mean that, you know, he just dropped it, that it'll fall there. But we do recommend that you do a small, like you do a grid search as if you're tracking for blood. So if you can't find, go in circles slowly and make that circle bigger and bigger. Right. And you do have a better chance, but don't get disappointed like Marco said.
And on the other hand, if you do find a horn, you get excited, you get really excited, and sometimes you don't see the other shed that's right there. Like it happened to, and Mark and I a couple of years ago. So you guys can check out that video on our
We'll put
on
it
our
up
page.
top.
We'll put it up top. But
The match was
they were
super real.
literally 3 feet away, and I never saw the first one.
He was so excited
But
about it.
Mark, being the friend that he is, he ended up giving it to me because he felt like they belonged together.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Good karma.
That's a good
that's
couple.
another thing. Pick good friends. Here's tip number 9.
Shed hunting could be very demanding on the body, the eyes,
The mind.
the mind. First thing, make sure you bring food and water with you at all times.
And great boots.
Great boots. Stop once in a while, sit down 5 minutes, make your eyes reset, because a lot of times we don't realize how demanding it is for our bodies. You're scanning and trying to see any, like a point or a tine or something sticking out, and it's very important. Take the time to take a break, rehydrate,
Regroup. Yeah.
regroup,
Mentally, just
you know, relook
Figure
back
out-
at what you're doing and say,
Figure
you
out
know,
if you're in the right place, in the wrong place. If you're gonna find the shed, if you're not gonna find the shed.
a lot of times if you do take that little break and give yourself a second to get back at it, you'll see you'll be a lot more aware, and it's going to be a lot easier to spot things because your mind is not.
And that's happened to us in the
Completely-
past.
oh, yeah.
Where we rest, we take a rest, we haven't found anything, and
You regroup.
I don't know if it's fluke or not, but as soon as we get back out there and we're finished resting, there's the shed, like not 10 feet away, and we always find one. So is it because our eyes are tired? Is it because we're rushing? Is it because we're discouraged? Just take a minute, regroup, and make sure the night before you get some rest. And if you're shed hunting 2-3 days in a row, well, you know what? Try to go straight to bed.
No
You're
party.
gonna need it. Here's tip number 10.
If you feel discouraged or like you feel that you're doing something wrong, never give up. It's so easy to think that you're doing something wrong because you've been out all day and you see weeks. You know, it's happened to us. We've been out so many times and did so many intros and saw so many things but never found sheds, and we're like, it can't be, the sign is there, and we're questioning ourselves and questioning, are we doing things right or wrong, or
are we missing them?
are we not seeing them? And that's the worst thing you can do. Be confident in, you know, you did that patch of woods, you know you did it right, and move on. Go to another place, new sign, start over fresh every day. Forget about what you did yesterday, last time, last year. Every time go out fresh and really be confident in yourself. That'll really change a lot. You know, before you leave, we do this all the time. We pick up a shed, we look at it and we say, okay, that's what they look like. In case, you know, you're not sure, throw it in the back. If there's snow or there's a lot of brush, throw a shed once in a while, just to see what it looks like. And don't just place it on the ground, throw it. Because when they fall off the deer's head, they never fall perfect. You know, we found some upside down. I've actually found one standing up in the snow, remember?
That's it,
yeah. A shed could be literally sticking out of the water just a time. Marco found that last year like that. Never give up, be confident in yourself, and never put yourself down. Just, you know.
And I guarantee you, if you have one of those rough stretches like we've had, the next shed you find will make it all worthwhile, and you'll probably enjoy that shed almost more than any other shed because you know how hard you've worked to get to that shed, and it's just going to be that much more appreciated.
The satisfaction and like the appreciation will be unreal.
And like Mike said, build on past successes. This has happened, it's gonna happen again. It doesn't mean that you're not finding any sheds, that you're not gonna find any.
Exactly.
Think about all the good sheds you find or found, and build on that. Don't give up, just motivate yourself. You know, you found that big shed that one time, you're gonna do it again.
Be out there. Because you can't find sheds if you're not out there.
You're on the couch.
Guys, we couldn't finish it at 10. So here's bonus tip number 11.
This is probably got to be my personal favorite tip by far. I don't know about you guys, if you guys agree, but when we find a shed, after screaming and losing our marbles,
Holy smokes! Something like that.
we have a whole video of that. If you guys want to check it up top, a compilation of Mike losing his marbles. But yeah, one of our favorite tips to do after you find the shed is do not touch it. Let the other people, if you are in a group, it's hard not to, but if you are with a group of people, let them know that you found one and let them try to find it for themselves. Don't tell them where it is. and you actually train their eyes, because like Mike said on the previous tip, a shed can lay, it doesn't choose how it lays. It could be up halfway up a tree, it could be tines down, sticking up, it could be any way.
Under the mud, it could be in any...
Underwater, oh yeah, under mud, like last year. It's crazy how a shed can lay. So we like to give ourselves, or help the others, train their eyes and seeing, and then you see the shed exactly the way we found it. So that's what we like to do.
It is, we have a rule, do not touch the shed till everybody sees it. And you know what? That training on the eyes, like really training your eyes to look for certain things, really ends up paying off, and you're helping out your buddies. And you know what? That joy, you'll hold it for the rest of your life. Just hold on a bit more.
Aim small, miss small when it comes to looking for sheds. Look for little tips.
Don't ever look for a giant shed. You won't find, you know, yes, it'll happen if you live in Iowa and stuff like that. Yes, maybe. But if you look for a little piece of the time, you're gonna always find more than if you're looking for a giant shed. You know, there's hundreds and hundreds of tips we could give you guys, but we try narrowing down a bit, and you know, giving you the best advice that we could.
And like we said before, if you guys have a tip that we didn't mention, throw it down below in the comments. That's it. We want to see it. Hopefully other people will see it, and we all want everyone to find, you know, the most sheds, you know. So that's it. Yeah.
You know what, guys? Thank you for watching our videos.
As always,
like and subscribe.
That's it. We'll see you guys next week.
Stay tuned, guys.
Yep.
Here's tip number 9.
8.
Sorry, skipping my numbers. Here's tip number 7.
7. I'm joking. I'm like, I just did the 7.
He's gonna get it one day. Just be patient, guys.
I'll find cricket noises. And I'll put it in the background.
I thought you had it.
I had it. I lost it. Sorry.
Goodbye. Sister.
Hey guys, I hope you liked that tip video, and I hope it helps. If you guys want to see some of our other videos, click on the links on the side, and as always, like and subscribe. See you next week.